Today is the day. Hey, Jeff, is this another travel montage to buy a Miata?
This is another travel montage to buy me out.
Buying a car on a trash can. We're in your car!
We are in my car! Welcome back to another episode of Flywheel Films. Today, you're joined by Austin and I as we travel across.
Epic road trip across the entire country.
We are Gears and Gasoline.
Welcome back to another Flywheel Films video. Coming to you from the cockpit of another NC Miata. Not mine, not Jordan's, but Jeff's.
My Miata.
Last time you saw Jeff, we were reviewing his Veloster N. That was stage 2. And we were talking a little bit about it. And we were talking about the exciting things that were next for that car. And now Jeff no longer owns it.
Yeah, yeah. Bit of a, we talked about it a bit in that video. It was kind of the compromise car that was doing a little bit of everything.
It was.
And these guys love their multi-car garages, so
I think Jordan and I talking about two-car solutions made Jeff be like, man, I could get a pretty good two-car solution.
Yeah, yep. They wore me down in a good way.
So Jeff sold the Veloster N for Audi S3, a car he knows very well. He's owned multiple before.
Third time's charm, right?
Third time's charm. And then in the theme of going back to vehicles he's owned in the past, he owned this car years ago. You owned this car about 3 years ago. You sold it. And we're back in it. And how we ended up back in it, we're in Alabama, but we were in Florida yesterday.
Yeah.
It's a really cool story. So I had seen Jeff's NC when he had it the first time. I had ridden in it. I really like it. It's a really cool spec. It is a 2011 special edition with the, what's the net?
Sparkling black mica is the color.
Black mica, which is like a graphite-y metallic color. Super cool.
A lot of flake in it.
Tons of flake. Almost like a brownish tint to it in some light.
It does.
I love it. And then like a gray leather interior. So sorry, Jordan. This special edition color spec is cooler than yours. I like the gray on gray. Super fun. So yeah, very cool car. I knew it. I was on Facebook. I see this car pop up, and Jeff at this point has already got his Audi S3. He's in the hunt for a dedicated fun car, and he's tossing around a lot of options. We'll talk about that more in another video. He's tossing around a ton of options. Of course, Jordan and I are very camp NC, like, hey man, it's a great fun only car.
Yeah.
And you didn't deny it, but you had your reservations about buying an NC and then doing everything you did to this car again.
Yeah, this car, I won't go into the mod list, but I had about 5,000 plus in modifications that I installed, so no labor in that price.
And it's sorted.
And I was not looking forward to doing all that work all over again.
So you knew you liked it all, like you didn't sell it because you didn't like the car, just had the time. Well, that makes sense. So
yeah.
We'll talk more about that in the next video with it, but yeah, so I knew the car. I was already trying to get him into an NC, and then this car came up, and I was like, hey, Jeff, this looks like your old car, man. You should buy it. And then, what did you respond to me with?
I was like, are you kidding right now? Like, I thought he was messing with me. I'm like, Austin, that is my old car. Like, that's the guy I sold it to. That's the same mod list that I had in my for sale ad. I think, like, And he did. And the one thing he had is it was never tracked. And I was like, I know for a fact it was tracked because I tracked it.
Wasn't tracked by him.
Yeah, it wasn't tracked by
true.
him.
But yeah, you tracked it. So Jeff starts talking to John. John's a super cool guy. And like from what you said, it sounded like he was like really excited about you buying it back.
John drove that car 2 hours north from where he lives in Florida to meet me at the Orlando airport. He's Ubering his whole way home. So he was awesome at working with us to make this happen. So
yeah,
thank you, John.
John was an absolute trooper. We were signing the paperwork at the arrivals area in the Orlando airport.
On the trash can.
And yeah, and like getting to Orlando. So we live in Northwest Arkansas. So Orlando isn't exactly close. And when Jeff and I were tossing around the idea of like how to get this car home, you had looked into shipping it. We're trying to figure out what made the most sense. You had kind of realized that like you want such a specific fun car that no matter what it is, there's a good chance travel is going to be involved.
I wasn't going to find the right spec just where we were. Like the chance of finding that, I was going to overpay. Wasn't sure.
Maybe compromise on some stuff.
Austin sends me my car in the mail or over Facebook, and I'm like, okay, well, let's look into shipping. That was it was pretty expensive from Florida to Northwest.
Yeah. It's not super cheap to ship cars halfway across the country.
No. And I was intimidated about the 16-hour drive on my own. I was like, that's a lot of alone time in a car. And Austin's like, dude, if you can get me down there, I'll help you drive back.
Yeah.
And that was an offer I couldn't refuse, to cut my drive in half as far as my time behind the wheel. So got some plane tickets, and me and Austin flew into Atlanta and then into Orlando. We had to fight quite a bit of airline trouble with delays, possible cancellations.
Like we got to the airport at like 5:30 or 5 o'clock.
5 a.m.
Because we were supposed to board at 5:30. Flight gets delayed like 2 hours.
We don't board till 7.
Yeah, basically eats up our entire layover. So we're like running through the airport in Atlanta, trying to get to our gate.
Thanks, Delta.
Yeah, thanks, Delta. But that flight went perfectly smooth. No, we didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
So very thankful that everything worked out. A bit more of a stressful travel day than we were hoping for. But then we picked up the car in Orlando, signed the paperwork with John, got to talk to him a little bit, literally just sitting in the arrivals lane. I'm surprised some of the
parking we didn't get moved. Like, it was kind of nice. Yeah.
We weren't the only ones doing it, but we were the only ones buying a car.
Yeah.
And then Jeff and I get in the car, we're top down, and we just start driving. We were just like, no time to waste. Our plan was to make it to Atlanta that night, so we made it into Atlanta about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, late in arrival, but...
So we were in Atlanta for two times in one day. We were in Atlanta, which is kind of funny.
Airport once, my buddy's house the second time.
I don't know that I've ever done that. I don't know that I've ever like been to a town twice in one day.
Flown into it and then driven into it.
Yeah. Spent the evening with Jeff's buddy. They're super hospitable and letting us crash there for the night.
Thanks, Ethan and Shelby.
Thanks, guys. Got breakfast with them this morning, and then we've been back on the road ever since. So we are in Alabama still, I think. I think we're getting pretty close to Mississippi. This was a 10.5-hour day in the car, so trying to just eat through the miles. George just hit you with a huge road trip video, so I didn't want to do like a big old, like, cover all of our time in the car, because even though Alabama is really pretty, actually.
It was much prettier than we both thought, but Mississippi, we're probably not gonna have as many scenic shots as Jordan's California coast.
Yeah, and I don't have a drone yet, so I can't do the really cool stuff. So this is a brief, like, hey, look, we got his old Miata back. Very exciting. Jeff lives just down the road from me, so this car will be on the channel. There'll be even more NCs on the channel, which I feel like we're just multiplying, which is awesome.
It's an amazing platform. It's the reason why the people who watch Flywheel watch it, and the people who drive the cars drive it.
Yeah, so not a crazy long video. We didn't want to, like I said, do a massive road trip piece on getting this car home. We are limited on time. All in one weekend, which is crazy. Woke up super early Saturday morning, be back by Sunday evening. So
yeah, it's just been absolute push and grind to get through it. There will be loads more videos on this Miata. I can't wait to be... we tried doing the Veloster on the channel, and it did great, and I appreciate everyone who watched it, but, the NC is really the car that Flywheel represents the best, and so I'm excited to have that
bringing it to the channel.
Yeah, excited to have another one on the channel. Excited to have Jordan's clone 10 minutes, 20 minutes away from me, because it would be really easy to do comparison videos. Y'all have really enjoyed our dialogue between the different sub-generations of NC.
Yes.
And what those differences are, why you should know them. And I plan on doing more of that with Jeff being super close, because this is different to my car in all the same ways Jordan's is.
Yep.
Which is really, really exciting. So, yeah, really stoked that Jeff's back in the platform. Extremely excited to do more videos with this car. Not super excited about the 6 hours we have left to drive.
A little bit painful, but we'll get through it.
We'll get through it. So if you guys have bought an old car back, like maybe you sold an NC and you bought another NC or an ND, or be like John and you bought an ND but you already want another NC.
He wants to come back to the NC.
He wants to come
He
back,
wants an automatic, so that's why he had to sell me the manual.
Yeah, but if you have any stories like that, put them down below. I'd love to hear stories. There's multiple cars that if given the opportunity, I would love to buy back. So
Yeah.
it's just super cool that you got to do this. Very jealous in that sense. But yeah, if you have any stories like that, if you're excited to see Jeff's NC back on the channel, definitely leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, do all the things to make the algorithm happy. And we'll see you in some videos very soon.